Somebody wants to understand the dark side of death. Okay. You got brutally, violently murdered. Now you're at the cemetery after being violently, brutally murdered. And gods want to help you to learn to fight back. So gods make you believe that you are fighting your way out. You are taking all the destruction of your death from such a violent, brutal death and turning it on people. And they give you a spiritual sword and you start slicing into everybody like it's nothing, believing that you are finding that day where you will not be murdered. Scary shit, huh? You can slice and slice and slice and slice and slice people forever when you're dead. It'll never end. Because inside of your death never stops suffering and screaming. And it'll make you just slice and slice everyone forever. Now, if you want to help them, though, you don't want them to slice people forever because, you want them to get better. What you would do, so you would take the person that got murdered, you give them that knife, and you tell them to just keep slicing our way out. Just keep slicing our way out. Just keep slicing our way out. We're just going to keep slicing our way out. As you teach the dead person to keep slicing and slicing and believing they will wake up one day and have never been murdered if they keep slicing and slicing. They'll slice forever. But their murder never stops. So their death never stops screaming. So if you're actually trying to help them as they slice and slice and slice, full of sickening, scary, emotional death, you help transform their death over time into the understanding that they're killing other murderers just like the one that murdered them, and try to pull them and see if any therapy or see if there's anything that will therapy their issues and problems. If not, you have to do that thing I taught you where you do like a surgery on the inside. So instead of slicing forever, you can teach them that they have sliced and made it better and somehow saved themselves and never got murdered. But it's upside down backwards, like surgery in their death, that makes them instead feel like slicing and slicing has brought some kind of outward reality now, where life has pushed and pushed. So you take them slicing their way out, because it's not ever going to happen. They get sliced forever. They're still murdered. You take them slicing and slicing and slicing, and you put that surgery inside of them, and you make them believe that they got out. And boy, it's a pretty cool thing. But you have to turn their death upside down. If you don't surgery and turn their death upside down, they would know they're still murdered because their death will never be happy or comfortable. So the surgery or upside down rebuilding of their death instead makes them feel like they've sliced their way to somewhere. And then you've ruined the part where they were murdered. So that part's all fixed, bizarrely, because they don't understand. So then they feel like the slicing was making it better. They fought. Now that death place is not there. It's instead of hate, pain, beyond victim sadness, it's instead of all that, I have fought. I have sliced. Now I feel like I have changed my own innerness. And now my innerness is like desiring to try to walk, maybe try to exist. Because, like, the slicing, and then the fact that you take out the part where they were violently murdered. So now it's like I've sliced, and that death suffering plays like slice, and now it doesn't feel the same like it was there. It's like a weird version of therapy, but mostly a transformation of death. And that one doesn't make you feel normal or happy, but it makes you want to do things and try to do things. So if God's worked with you on that one, that could get somewhere over time. It takes a long time, but it could get you somewhere. Now, with mine, I'm just never-ending death, and I love to never-endingly destroy and kill. But I'm a created death/killing machine. So I'm a type of dead god that they send into the worst situations in the first place. And this is just the worst situation ever known that I put myself in. So I'm just a pile of very, very never-ending oceans of death that can do anything to anybody. So when I think it's fun, so when my leg was suffering so bad, and all I saw was my enemies dying, and I felt that thrill. It's a very scary, scary thrill, and I've never had a happy thrill killing my enemies forever, and I have always forever killed my enemies forever. I've got hells everywhere. They have never stopped dying, and they have never gotten out. And I've never had a thrill, though. I was killing my enemies so bad, I now know where I hit thrill. But it's a very scary, sickening thing, where you're really happy to watch the most unthinkably sickening death ever known. And you realize what unlimited death would call giddy. It's horrifying. So would I keep it? Probably not. I'm just gonna probably kill it out of myself and transform it into what I want. And see, if you ever watch movies where people can like give themselves surgery in planets where there's not a lot of good medical realities, or in planets where life and death is so scary and sad and common? People learn to like give themselves surgery. Like they learn how to cut something out of themselves. They learn how to give themselves like stitches in an area where you give yourself a surgery or a stitch. That's a pretty hardcore motherfucker kind of person, huh? It's like, whoa. They can sit and slice and hurt and sew themselves. Like, that shit is scary. Just to think about it is so scary. Gods make themselves dead on purpose so they won't have a giver shit. So they can slice themselves like it's nothing, and like wouldn't even think twice about anything to any extent. And they can run around and do the most barbaric, sickening things like it's nothing. And it'll never matter, ever. So you kind of don't want to meet dead gods unless you want to. Dead gods are kind of scary. But it's up to you guys. If you want to meet a hell of a dead god, I mean, you're going to find death that nothing else produces. So if you don't want to learn that, you can learn about hells of little tiny baby sweetsy cutesy gods. So sweetsy cutesy gods just make hells where you have to die over and over and over with a constant drenching and understanding of what you've done to others. And die over and over and over and over with the constant drenching and understanding of what you've done to others. And it just like never ends. And that's a cutie hell. That's where the tiny cuties go. In the bigger, scarier hells, there's no limit to what something is gonna do to things without any give a shit ever. So like, if you're in a tiny hell, Zeus wants to talk to you about what you've done all the time. Zeus is a tiny, Zeus is a cutie, Zeus is alive and just wants to talk to you about what a bad person you are and all the bad crimes and bad things you did. And Zeus wants to just have you die over and over and over and talk about what you've done. Die over and over and over, talk about what you've done. Until Zeus feels like when he looks at you, you have died over and over and really absorbed what you have done. And then like gods like that decide as they go when you're in those hells. If you meet a dead god, they just do the most heartless, unthinkable things to you and look right at you like they already know inside of your death when it is screaming the right song about what you've done to those victims or those crimes and sins you had no right to commit. So a dead god will watch your death screaming and know exactly what channel you're on and that you've paid enough for what you've done. And that's a dead god. See, they're kind of really scary. Then you get to a killing machine dead god. When you get to a killing machine dead god, they'll liquefy everything and anything in 2 seconds and rebuild it into the worst Rembrandt you've ever seen until they wobble and their death screams on the outside and on the inside is worse than the worst death you could comprehend. And it's like an ocean of you should have never even fucking thought of it, much less did it. So, do you really want to live in the barbaric side of life? Yeah, probably not. Do most of us dead gods transform ourselves to just stay smart and perfect and you just never want to get to the day where we get our hands on you? Yeah.